What's up, wrestling fans? We are back again. This is Discuss Impact, available most everywhere. I'm JaySin, along with the Horror King Gary. This week is a rough one for me. Got a few things I want to, cry about. One of them, a big one I'm going to lead off with, is Johnny Bravo being stuck with Dango, one of my favorite wrestlers lately, and that made me really sad. But before we get to some more sad stuff and whatever else, got to mention MK Ultra, maybe the best reason to watch Impact Wrestling right now. Absolutely awesome, and I feel like they know they're awesome the way they post. I am currently watching a movie called Money Plane with Edge or Money Train. I don't even know what it's called. It's such a terrible movie. What's up, Gary? You know more about movies than anyone. Should I even be watching a movie with Edge?
Coming out of watching the show Haven, he did a really good job in that. As for Money, I believe it's Money Plane because I believe there's already a Wesley Snipes movie called Money Train.
Larry already abused me on that one.
Yeah, and
how was that?
Back in the day.
Sorry, this is not a movie podcast. Well, just give us a second.
Yeah, I've always had a kind of an admiration for Wesley Snipes. He's did some really good movies like Demolition Man.
Yeah, same here. All right, we don't want to lose everyone. So, Matthew Raywalt, the Drama King. It appears he is out, or is that fair to say? He's taking bookings.
Yeah, definitely.
He put a tweet out. I'm like, I'll read it. Okay, sorry. It's official. I will be taking wrestling bookings again on a limited basis through the end of the year, including vaudevillian matches, ? And then, like RT, where to first? So, to me, it sounds like he's gone. I guess he could still do commentary. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't sound like anyone really was too sad about it, at least in the Impact Wrestling fan group, which is now down to 198 members after the great purge of July 2023. And
I kind of found it interesting, too. He mentioned the Vaudevillains, which is an NXT-based tag team, I believe, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Which makes it like to me that he might, unfortunately, go crawling back to up north. But
I'm not sure what the other Vaudevillain is. I'm guessing he's out there, and I think it's just like they make more money together than apart, probably kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've complained about him. I just feel like he has the most oh my god, this is happening right now. It's like he talks like the same, even when he's excited. His voice just doesn't get. Whatever. I said I wanted somebody like I'm gonna blank on his goddamn name right. I want somebody like McAfee in WWE. That dude is awesome. Don West, obviously, R.I.P. If they had somebody like that around in the world, I don't know. Do you know anybody off the top of your head?
I do know. I don't know if I know Corey Graves is a commentator in WWE, but somebody mentioned in MLW that Corey has a brother. If he has any, announcing skills, who knows? Maybe we'll get his brother on commentary.
Okay. I don't have anyone. You mentioned before we started recording D'Lo returning, and I saw D'Lo on a poster. I don't know if it's good. Is that the word? Poster? Whatever. For an upcoming indie show. So he's wrestling again, I'm pretty sure, which means I could see him making his way back to Impact in some way. Hopefully it's not wrestling. No offense. He's a legend, but that's another thing I didn't like about this show. I didn't like the ending. I loved the ending up until the heels came out. But then, you kind of mentioned before we were recording, everything kind of leads to not leads to, but Bully is the big heel still. And it just it's not Bully. He's a great character. He always will be, but I just hate that he's still there in 2023,
Yeah, it's kind of like they're giving him kind of like the Hulk Hogan treatment, like more of a heel version of Hogan now.
Yeah.
And they bring him back to the fold. We think he's done, and then no knock on Bully, like you said, he's a tremendous character. He always was great on the mic. He's good at selling the story that he was in. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like we're not pulling the trigger on a different trajectory for where we're headed for the future of an Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm I don't want to say they have good pieces, but they don't have it's not together. I had a poll recently, and I forget what it's about, but I think a lot of people agreed that they want Moose back in the main event, or at least like he would make the most sense right now.
Yeah, they definitely do something with him because, like I said, he's been too much in the middle of the pack for me, and they got to do something to, because he did just recently re-sign with Impact. So I mean, they got to do something to kind of keep him motivated to, get in the title picture.
Yeah, they just announced today Moose and Myers versus the Time Splitters this week on Impact, which should be really cool, interesting match. And I think they're already going the Sabin is gonna get screwed or something, or like Shelley's gonna too close with Kushida or something like that. I don't know, but I think we're gonna get heel Sabin out of this whole deal. I could be wrong, but just looking at this goddamn picture or graphic, Moose is enormous. Yeah. Nobody looks like Moose. Moose makes Josh look silly, like if they took their shirts off. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've thought for the longest time, I wanted the true giant, and I mean he's he might not be that 7-footer, but he's damn close, and
he's a great wrestler.
Yeah. He can move at his size.
Yeah, great wrestler, great character. I mean, he's a believable main eventer, and I don't think Shelley is for at least a lot of people, or at least to that edition. Okay, question for you: have you ever heard of Rough Cuts?
In terms
of Impact Wrestling and a television show they have on Impact Plus.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Me either. And guess what? We do this every week. You can check. We are Impact fans. Sometimes we'll complain. We have a goddamn group. We should know there is a show called Rough Cuts on Impact Plus. So that is what's the word? Terrible marketing, whatever the word is. I don't know. Like how can I not know the show? How can I not know this show existed until today? A brand new edition of Rough Cuts featuring Killer Kelly is now available. And Killer Kelly is so hot right now, and just hot in general. Like the way like everyone is talking about Kelly. Like if you look at our group, like it's like everyone loves Kelly. Everyone loves those two together. Everything about them is awesome. Everyone is loving everything about it. And
oh yeah. Well, I did notice too. Like I used the different thumbnails this week. Whenever I used Trinity and when I used Kelly and Masha, I noticed we started getting a few extra views just from keep changing the thumbnail, which is pretty interesting.
I gotta keep saying it. That Trinity is like a bigger deal, I think, than maybe I thought or whatever. And she's done a hell of a job. But yeah, back to this Rough Cuts thing. They can't have things I don't know about. That's just my quick point. And it's from lack of whatever. They don't do anything on Facebook. I counted today. Before, like this is from like 3 hours ago or whenever. I don't know. I passed out. I don't know what time. I counted 18 of the last 20 Impact Facebook posts were old videos. So like, who is that for?
Yeah.
And why can't you throw in that Kelly is on Rough Cuts? Kelly's. That's what I'm saying about Kelly being so hot. Like maybe someone would actually subscribe just to see Kelly right now. You know what I mean? Because that's the character people want to see more of right now.
Yeah, I mean, if with her being like a newly crowned tag team champion, why not have the two girls, plug that Rough Cut?
Exactly. I mean, then they might have. To be fair, they might have. I can't check everyone's social media or whatever. But the point is, Impact should be putting it on all of their social media. It's not hard. Facebook. I mean, Instagram. Like everything is on Twitter. It makes me crazy. But I complain about it. Well, I don't know. My voice just went. I complain about that all the time. So I'm not going to do it this week anymore. And I don't think we have any more news. I don't think there was ratings this week.
I do have a little bit of news for any.
Nobody wants to hear your bullshit, Gary. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyone out there that's a huge Brian Pillman Jr. fan and any hope that he's coming to Impact, it's being reported that he's finalizing a deal with WWE. So there is that.
Yeah, and I believe everyone's sad about this. No.
So is there like if different people in the group were they pulling?
Oh no. Well, I mean, I think you just said it. Like people were, fans wanted him an Impact, at least some.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
definitely.
you just punched them all right in the face. Just want you all to remember that came from Gary and not Jay. I like to bring good news. So let's get to Impact this week. And again, got to mention the really bad issues with, you could take it, Gary. You know this shit better than me.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks heading into these impacts on Thursday night, the 8 and 10 o'clock time frame, we get pretty good, quality show until about the 9:30 mark, and we're having issues with first week. It was a lot of macro blocking and pixelation, if you will, where it froze up so bad on my Philo service that I just turned it off. I got sick of it. I said, I'm done with this. I don't like it when I ain't really, to be fair, I'm not big on streaming per se anyway. I am an old school believer. I love the old cable, the way you'd be able to watch it without any
Well,
issues. And
but
currently,
that's what you were doing, right?
yeah, and I watched it the week before, and it was just so sickening. And then this week we get to Josh popping up in the ring. I'm not going to go too much into detail because we're going to get into that with the review. But he's in the ring talking about why he's back and whatnot, and all of a sudden the sound cuts out.
Yeah.
Second week in a row, and I thought I quick on my feet, I decided to turn on the subtitles, and I was able to catch it, but it's not the same as, hearing it come from the man's mouth, and it needs to be addressed.
I can't believe they did. I can't believe it happened twice in a row. And, I've been complaining about a lot of things like marketing and stuff like that, but whatever. Like, it is what it is. I think we all have to accept that at this point. Like, they know there's problems with the television or whatever, like whatever the hell just Gary just said. I mean, I know I was listening, but I can't speak those kind of words. I don't really know, but like they know the problems. I have to believe they just don't care, or they don't care enough to fix the problems, just like whatever else.
That's why I think they seriously need to have a backup plan for like when it is screwing up. Like, why not have it on, why not try to reach out to Pop TV again and even get it, maybe not at
Okay,
the same.
okay, but you mentioned this before. If these are taped shows, right?
Yeah, totally
So
taped. Yeah.
so like how, I don't know, can't they just look over it and fix it? Is that not possible?
That I think right there, Jay, is the problem. I'm wondering here, like, do they really have like live technical support for when they
Like,
do have it?
here's a good
You know what I
example.
mean?
We didn't have
I
audio
think that
two. We didn't have audio 2 weeks ago on our podcast, right?
right.
On like when I hit audio, when I hit like sounds and stuff like this, right? Like that wasn't coming out because I was recording on a laptop. So I could have actually fixed that if I noticed, but it's an Impact podcast, so no offense to everyone, but I don't go back and listen like all the time, and I don't edit things because I don't want to say we're good, but like we kind of know, like we have a good back and forth, and we don't really need much editing. Like when nobody says anything crazy, and if it is, it's me, and I just live with it. So I don't know
Well,
if
I've been known to say some pretty crazy stuff on here too.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I made any kind of point there with that, but do got to mention Deanna has been announced for the tapings, and man, that really gave me a whew. I was worried, she might be leaving. Just
Yeah,
because
I
she
don't think I
missed
was.
tapings.
I don't. I kind of feel like she kind of has a respect factor for Impact, though. They have put that title on her 3 times, and I think that's probably 2 times more than she ever got it in Ring of Honor. So,
Yeah, and no, I'm with you.
maybe a bit of loyalty.
They made her goddamn husband champion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They signed her husband, and I'm not. They made him world champion. What am I saying? Sorry, my head was going.
Yeah, they had the title.
I just said we're doing good. We're not talking over each other. And now look at us like two idiots. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say that they both donned the titles at the same time too, I believe. So that was really cool to see a power couple, if you will.
Yeah. See, okay, I was thinking kind of two things at once. Where Jordynne also posted something yesterday, like on my way back, or I don't know what she said exactly, but she's back in the gym, and I was kind of arguing with Larry over this because, like, I don't know, I feel like she definitely wasn't going anywhere just based on her body going through those changes. You know what I mean? Like she was jacked, like she was crazy jacked. And then she, you know, when those whatever it was, the bodybuilding, weightlifting competitions, I also got that wrong last time. So it's one or the other. So like, she got so jacked. Then she was like, all right, I need to chill now. And she like, you know, she did like nothing and she just chilled and she was, you know, she tweeted, she was, you know, this is all on her social media, you know, she like, I don't know if she got chubby, but you know, she was eating more and like her body was changing a lot. And now she's back in the gym, like getting jacked again. So like, I feel like she had to have a few months off. And I think she's definitely come back to Impact. And I'm really excited about that. I don't know.
Well, somebody was mentioning something about maybe some slight hot water with Impact at one point because they noticed she was doing social media and then all of a sudden she took a sabbatical from it. And I know she's had issues in the past with like trolls and you know, people that say they're fans and whatnot, but she said some things maybe some people found kind of controversial and like maybe kind of went off of her fandom, you know, like they didn't want to follow her no more. I don't know. I'm leaning towards she's staying, but it's just so hard because like she's accomplished, hasn't she? Hasn't she had the title like twice as a world champion, I believe.
I was gonna say you just said 3 times. No, that was Dion. Sorry. Yeah, I think at least twice. I would say 3 times, but I'm not sure. Good question.
And the women's tag, and I just kind of feel like I don't know where she goes from here, other than maybe like we might get that monster heel that you were talking about, where she just comes in and just destroys the whole the knockout plateau of the whole scene, you know.
Or how about her and Deanna together, just destroying everyone? Like this isn't your fucking place, Trinity. It's ours.
Yeah, I could see that too, because like they're gonna have to have something for the 2 girls if they're gonna have them on the roster. Because I think once you lose the title, I mean, I know they're always in the hunt for another rematch, but like you said, it gets kind of like same old when you use that rematch clause.
And here's my big thing with her. Where would she go? I feel like if she was going to go to AEW, she would have been there already. And like I know Gresham had issues with them, so I think that's out.
Well, my thing is,
quickly, no offense, but I don't think she has the WWE look. She's short, and you know, like she's not a great talker.
Well, and I mean, if she sits there and takes a look at the, you know, from crystal ball, if you will, sits there and looks at what's going on in AEW. They brought in Taya Valkyrie, and she's been pretty much, from what you've told me, a jobber to Jade. Is it
pretty much anyone? I think. To be fair, I haven't been paying much attention, but yeah, she lost to Jade, I think, multiple times.
Yeah,
so she was she just popped in to make Jade look good, and similar to what I think Madison kind of did this. I think they did the same thing with Madison, and then they just made her a total jobber, and then they pulled her off of TV, and then she's doing backstage work.
Yeah,
but we should get to Impact Wrestling. This week's episode started off with my man, Scotty D'Amore, in the ring with a microphone, where I like to see him. Sorry, that's sarcastic. I did
totally sarcastic.
I gotta quickly mention. Okay, right. Okay, so he mentioned he's the acting director of Authority because Santino beat up Dango. Okay, now I didn't catch that the first time around. So I guess Santino is just a wrestler now, because I was kind of bitching about 2 Authority figures yesterday.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit confusing because I don't know. It kind of like I always thought Santino was kind of the thing, and then they just kind of threw this out here going into this episode. So
yeah, it's confusing. So I just want to know. I mean, first of all, I don't like Authority figures, and I literally made a video about it years ago. Anyone can scroll all the way down on our YouTube if you can. It's called like No Authority Needed, and Impact was kicking ass for like a year when they had nobody. The only question was who was making these matches, but I don't think, nobody really gave a fuck because the television was so goddamn good. So Scott came out to start this show, talked about Santino there, and then the Good Hands came out, and I thought Scott was going to face them 2-on-1. So I was like, actually like kind of nauseous for a second, but out came Sammy and Rich Swann, and they ended up beating them in like a few minutes. Which again, I'm so confused with the booking of the Good Hands because I feel like they should have lost in seconds to these two guys with the way they've been booked. No.
Yeah, it's been very baffling with the Good Hands because like we were actually giving Impact some like praise there for a little while because they were giving them victories over people we didn't think they would stand the hell's chance of winning against, and they did book them.
Yeah, they made me believe they could be believable champions.
Yeah, and then they did that, and then like they started getting on this losing streak, and now it just continues to keep.
I'm guessing they got a call from Subculture while they were pushing the Good Hands, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, you're in, you're out." I mean, no,
they should start calling the below at Good Hands or whatever.
Yeah, something. I mean, break them up. I mean, I don't know. It's just seriously. I mean, they've been like they've done so many weird things, and I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens with Sammy and Swann, even though I'm afraid I know what's going to happen, that they're going to team up for a while and then wrestle each other, but hopefully it's something different than that. I feel like that's a little too obvious. I do like the Bullet Club and the Rascal stuff. I mean, that should just be awesome matches, like for forever.
Oh yeah, well, like they've been having like the Rascals come down and like kind of like interject themselves into a little bit of everything going on. Like you could kind of get that feeling like they're planning on the Rascals kind of taking over, pun intended, everything, via like
pretty good
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Wentz I think he's like 2-0, and he got two pretty big wins. I forget which week. I think one was last week or whatever. But so this was when they announced the Swinger and Zicky Dice loser leaves Impact match. That's this upcoming week. So we'll talk about that next. We'll talk about that next week. So Eric Young came out, said he had a story to tell, and Nikki Aldis popped in, and they set up a match for later tonight. Yeah. See, I'm a little messed up with this because, again, with the sound, and I have like notes that are like backwards and shit. I thought the show started off with a Jake something match, but there was all that other stuff before it. So it was Jake something versus Kevin Knight, and my man Alan Shraj, one day I'll get it. He said I fast forwarded through to the Jake something match. Who cares about either of these guys? Now I got to say that's fair. It's harsh, but I think fair in terms of if you're new to Impact, who is Jake something to you? You know what I mean? If you didn't know Jake something from before he was on Impact, you don't know him. And Kevin Knight is a New Japan guy who we don't know shit about really, other than he's a good wrestler.
But I mean, this ended up being a really good match.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah,
because like the two men, like when Kevin Knight would get the upper hand, he'd use a lot of his high flying skills and whatnot. But then Jake would kind of get the odds even with his power, and I don't know. I guess he has a good way of dealing with like high flying talent. So they work well on each other.
I think I said this last week that I hope the match was like Jake being the big dude throwing around the high flying dude. That's exactly what it was, and that's my favorite kind of match in wrestling: the big dude who can wrestle against the high flying smaller dude.
Call me stupid here, but I look at Jake something and I seen him come down to the ring. And I go, who does this man remind me of? And I was like, not only does he remind me of him, but it might be a pretty cool gimmick too. Is kind of like a I don't know if you remember Hercules from back in the WWF era.
Of course.
Very Herculoid looking, and I can picture him heel in like using that chain to get some victories, or maybe not fully, copy that gimmick, but maybe like a Viking gimmick or something of that nature. Kind of like a kind of like a Bruiser Brody, also kind of mixed, which would be very.
How about any kind of gimmick I'll take from him?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He doesn't have any kind of character or anything. But again, great wrestler. I really enjoy watching the guy. I'm glad he's back, and he's huge. So I mean, eventually he can get up to the main event scene if they book him correctly.
Yeah, and then he hit Kevin Knight with the Into the Void slam for the win. So I like that name. I think that's a pretty cool name for a finishing move.
And Kevin Knight has been goddamn awesome, I think. seen him a few times now, and like he just hasn't had a match that wasn't great or very good.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, coming out of this, it's very convincing too. It wasn't like a fluke win for Jake something. He looked really strong, and as did Kevin Knight. He just met a better opponent on this night.
Yeah, very good match. Nicely done, everything. And then kind of the opposite here, Courtney Rush versus Savannah Evans. Oh, man, Savannah. I mean, if you have somebody that big and scary looking, losing all the time, just cut them. I mean, I don't want to see anybody stop getting paid. I'm sorry. Put them in the back. How about that? Put her backstage, or just get her off television because she's a waste. And it's, again, no offense to her. I respect her. I follow her. I think I've seen her in indies do better. She's not a bad wrestler, but they just treat her like a joke.
Yeah, they've had a very hard time kind of booking her as anything but she's been anything but a threat.
And does it mean anything to you that Courtney Rush got a win here? Do you think Courtney Rush moves up a notch?
See, that's the thing I don't like here is because we know these two characters as pretty much as of late being tag team talent, and when you go one-on-one and you kind of put the smaller of the two against, say, Savannah. Savannah's supposed to be the monster, and then you book her to lose or get pinned. I don't know. It seems like it's a very skippable part of Impact, and I think this is the kind of formula we need to try to get rid of on Impact. I think this is why we might not be getting the viewership we would ordinarily, say, past regimes.
Yeah, I mean, how about just simply Rosemary is one of their biggest stars, and she's not Rosemary anymore.
Yeah, and we have mentioned in the past few weeks, it might be over with maybe diehard fans of hers just because we all know her as Rosemary. Maybe it's over with them, but it's not going to pick up any new fans just because it really doesn't have a buzz right now.
The only thing good about this, I guess, is maybe people will be even more happy about Rosemary when she returns. But I don't know.
Kind of low build.
I don't care about any of this stuff with her and Giselle, and I don't care about any of this stuff. So let's just move on. And there was a video at Trinity, and then the Coven were backstage. I really like the Coven. I'm just afraid they're going to get screwed here because, I mean, Masha and Kelly are so goddamn awesome. I can't see them losing. I don't want to see them losing the titles anytime soon. But also, the Coven is really good. I don't want to see them get screwed. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the Coven right now, but I wish there was more teams. You know what I mean? So they could still be a top team, but you can't really do that with the lack of teams.
That's the thing with Impact as of late. It seems like once somebody loses a title, there's nothing saying that they have to buck that trend that they think they have to make them keep losing. You know what I mean? They need to give them a 50-50 booking. Maybe have them win coming off losing the titles and then go back the other way. Kind of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and then later coming out of this Coven and a little backstage, it's mentioned by Tom Hannafan that Impact had its highest attended event in 4 years for Slammiversary, so that was pretty cool.
Interesting and cool. Also, I thought was cool was the Gresham interview. Some people took this as him leaving, and I'm like, what? Why would they put it on the show if he's leaving? I don't know. Am I the idiot? I mean, it sounds like, he said he wants rules, and I feel like there's going to be a new division or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Impact
he just turns heel, no?
I think, well, it could be that too, but I think he's taking a page out of a storyline he was doing for Ring of Honor under the Sinclair brand. He was pushing for the Pure Rules title.
Yeah.
And basically this is nothing but I don't know, maybe they're gonna introduce this. This would be pretty cool because you're allowed rope breaks. You're allowed.
Yeah, it's very different from the X Division, which I think would be cool. Get rid of this stupid digital media championship that means absolutely nothing and doesn't make sense.
Or they could be doing maybe a reboot of the X Division where it's no longer about weight limits and all that. Maybe we're just plain out ditching that,
Ooh, yeah, I have
and
been.
we're,
We
you
did
know
mention
what I
that
mean?
last
Like,
week. I think I mentioned it last week. I think it was Larry who asked me like about the X division. Like, can you explain it? And like over the years, it changed and it's confusing. And like
because
they mentioned
well,
tonight, option C got cashed in, and like we don't even know when that's available. Is it always
well
available?
the yeah, the peer rules thing was a very interesting take that Ring of Honor brought back during the pandemic. And I wonder if maybe Impact, did go back and watch a lot of that videotape of. It kind of did put Ring of Honor back on the map a little bit. It was probably the best thing going on the show at that time during the pandemic, and they do these shows from some college. I can't. They had it all decked out, looked beautiful.
Well,
I wish we could get that kind of effect going for Impact, but maybe Sinclair knew it was the end of the line, maybe.
yeah. Well, my thing with that is who is going to go for it? Like, how many technical great wrestlers are in Impact right now that are dudes?
Um,
I don't know. I mean,
Eddie
yeah,
Edwards,
Kazarian, guys like that. But then it's also kind of like a close to the
then
main
it kind
event.
of dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. So back to the show, and I hated this one. Dirty Dango versus Santino, and it was like a 6-minute match, and Santino had the Cobra ready to hit on Dango, who I've been loving, and I don't know. I don't like seeing him in a match with Santino, even though he's a legend and all, because it's a joke. It's like a Santino joke match. He's about to hit the Cobra, and then a masked person, I think, came in, right?
Yeah, it was like kind of like almost looked like something out of a RoboCop movie.
Yeah, it was like
something.
I thought it was like I felt like it was a lame person going by the outfit, and like just you could tell it was a dude, and like
Yeah.
man, I literally put my head down when I saw Johnny Bravo return. I don't think I've talked about this dude, but already here's what I wrote when I was watching the show. Bravo was back. I'm out. Enjoy, everyone. Might be some changes coming here soon because this shit sucks. Maybe it has all along, and I've been tricking myself. I'm lost right now. That's just over. That's how much I dislike this character.
Well, I don't know. I thought somebody said something about Dango and Bravo have some ties, maybe back.
Whatever.
I don't know, back
Well,
when that he was manager at some point. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm not sure, but he has been known to be a manager.
But whatever.
But
Whatever. Does Dango need a manager? You can answer that one.
no, he totally don't. But my thing is with this Dango thing. I think I had the biggest problem with is when Bravo hit him with whatever, I don't know, it was like a billy club or what it was, but
Oh yeah.
it looked really bad on TV.
Terrible. Yeah.
I don't know how it looked.
He's not good at anything, this guy. I say it all. I'm sorry. He's not a good character. He can't even hit somebody with a thing. Like, oh man, whatever. I'm not gonna go off on that dude. Whatever. I'm just sad. I'm sad that I'm gonna have to fast forward through certain things with Dango because he's involved. Alicia Edwards and Tracy got into a brawl, but that was weird. Alicia was like talking about Tracy, and Tracy kind of popped up like a little too convenient, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've been watching, like, I love this pitch meeting guy. I don't know if I ever mentioned him on here. I'm sure you've seen him because I post so much about him. And like, it's kind of has me watching wrestling like that. But like, I'll see something and I'm like, wow, that was like way too convenient. You know what I mean? Like convenience in movies, like this will happen, and like it's just so it's lazy writing, basically. You know movies better than anyone.
Oh yeah, well I don't know, they've been kind of like building up Alicia to look like very credible as a heel. I will give them credit there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to continue to see this bickering back and forth between Tracy Brooks. So if it's I like that part of it because we get a bit of nostalgia, but like at this point I don't really know what she's going to bring to the dance, if you will, because she, like you said, she took a lot of time off.
Mixed tag match.
Are we gonna
Bound for Glory.
Yeah, are we going to see a lot a lot of sloppiness, though. You know what I mean? Like I don't want
she's
to see that.
she's had a while to get in. I think it's gonna be Bound for Glory mixed tag. I feel like it's so goddamn obvious, but whatever. I don't know. I want to say I respect her enough to think she's gotten to good ring shape. I don't know. Also, it could be like a mixed tag where the men can face the women, and that could be fun. Who knows? One thing I hated, Giselle and Savannah ran into MK Ultra backstage, and they just yelled at each other for a little instead of what should have happened. MK Ultra just ripping their faces off, because in reality that's the way they're being booked right now. If Savannah Evans is losing to Courtney Rush in a few minutes, then she should get destroyed by either of them, and Giselle too. I mean, you know what I mean? They're not in their league, but whatever. That's setting up a match, I guess. I guess that set up Giselle versus.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the
middle
of the pack. Middle of the pack for the knockouts is such a mess. Like they're doing good with the women's title, but then like really there's not. I mean, there's gotten to be more tag teams as of late, but then there's really not anyone outside of in the heavyweight women's division in the tag team really don't have any sense of purpose right now.
I would love, and I think it would make all the sense in the world, get rid of the tag titles, make it a mid-card title.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because like Kylie King, for example, like she's great.
Yeah.
And what is she going to be doing now? Shit, because she's in the tag team that isn't the champs, so she's just going to be jobbing. Maybe she'll get some wins over, Kelly, who they love having Kelly lose still for some reason. But like you just said, like they're kind of, there's like nothing you can really do. It's either you're in the mix for the main event, or you're in the mix for you're the tag team champions, or you're a loser. Like that's all they have right now. And to me, again, it goes back to bad booking for the entire mid card and pretty much everywhere. Like there's too many 8-man. Oh, here's gonna be the number one contender. You know, they did like 3 of those in a row. There's like we have no idea who the number 2, 3, 4 guys are when it comes to like the men's division. Like we could guess, but there's like nobody in stone. Like I'm sure Aldis is probably like 2 or 3 right now, but he's gone soon. And whatever. Awesome match, tag team match, which I watched this this was the only reason I watched the show. I kind of fast forwarded through some things to see Subculture versus Bullet Club. Like there was nothing really else on this show, and that's another thing I didn't like. This was coming off of Slammiversary, right?
Yeah, this is basically the Slammiversary.
And I mean, just going really fast. Good Hands versus Rich and Sammy. You have Scott talking. You have Eric Young and Aldis. You got Jake Something versus Kevin Knight. You got Courtney and Savannah. You got Dango and Santino, which 4-1 Gun gave up D+. Just want to throw that out there, so I'm not just the only hater. And then this awesome match. Then this awesome tag team match. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, isn't it like a badly set up show after a huge pay-per-view? And then they had the terrible issues in the last half hour, which I think started with this. I think it started with this match.
Oh, you mean the technical issues?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It happened basically in the breakdown of the main focal point of the show for this week. At least that's what I call it, because I think it was it
was before Josh, right?
Oh no, it was actually actually happened when he had first started speaking a few words, and I was on a commercial break, and I came in here to look at a couple of things on our YouTube page, and I heard it come back on. I was getting ready to get up, and then I didn't hear any vocality coming out of Josh, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I get up, I go out, and like he's talking, but there's no sound, and which is very unfortunate, because it's a pretty pivotal point of the show right now, because it's Josh returning. He's coming back into the fold, and it's big. It's big news for Impact, and it's just very
the worst.
LOL TNA, if you will.
Yeah, and like it is what it is. They got to pay more money or like whatever. Like this shit always happens. You know what I mean? Like every goddamn special they do on Fight, whatever. Like this can't keep happening, but also it probably is. So let's just deal with this. This is Impact. They have shitty. They're gonna have technical issues every goddamn show, or most of them. Like it is what it is. They're not gonna be buying people. They're not like WWE and AEW. You know, they're gonna.
Yeah,
it's the land of the misfit toys, and hopefully they can just. In the past, I thought they booked them much better, and now it's just that's the big problem. Like they have a lot of great pieces, but they're just not in the right places. I don't know. I think it's just bad booking, and I don't know who else to blame other than the man in charge, and obviously Anthem, who won't give him the money that he needs.
Well, it's a very big selling part of of Impact, because like it's the main event scene, and you got some people might consider Shelley. I don't consider him a paper champion, or transitional, as Nick Aldis refers to him. But like you got him coming back, and
I kind of do. So that's why I love when Aldis said that. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be fair to say that, but like, I mean, I could say the same thing about a 23-year-old Nick Aldis.
Oh yeah.
Back when they put the strap on him, and that to me was ideal paper champion, because he hadn't really beaten anybody, and like everybody he kept winning against when he got the title was like Dixie interfering and whatnot.
I feel like he was a paper #1 contender recently, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's fair, and it's ill timing to have it happen at this juncture of Impact. Like just took off all the titles, pretty much every division.
Yeah,
and you're trying to build some momentum, and then like this happens. It's just it
was really cool, the ending too. Right after this, with like the cash-in guys came in. So Leo Rush has option C to cash in, and then Kushida, who has does he have a cash in, or does he just the #1 contender?
Yeah, he has, he's the #1 contender, because
to Sabin.
Well, no, it'd be to Leo Rush now, because he's got the.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. We forgot to mention Leo Rush might be injured, so that would suck really fucking bad. But at least they have time. Like there's not a big pay-per-view coming at least anytime soon. But I don't know.
Well, we got Emergence in about 40 days. Hopefully, it's not too serious.
Yeah, well, I've got to say it's nice that there's a break finally. I feel like they did like 8 specials within like 16 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. It's much deserved for the talent.
So
they get a little
sorry,
break from
yeah, totally.
Subculture?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Subculture ended up winning that match. We didn't mention that. But then, so Alexander, he didn't mention when he was going to return. Oh, did he? He said he's medically cleared.
Yeah.
So that means can he wrestle tomorrow? I don't know. Like we don't know about a match for him yet, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Only because of the fact that we know he doesn't actually wrestle. Well, if our fans.
Yeah, based on spoilers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail if he wrestled or not, but we pretty much at this point they're probably going to be saving him closer to like Bound for Glory or something like that. I would imagine.
Do you think he just gets? Actually, I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's just going to be obviously Shelley Alexander, or does he have to do anything first? Or actually, who the hell knows? With all these cash-ins and whatever else happens, could happen before. I mean,
we do have Emergence too.
Yeah.
The live iPay-per-view, if you will. We're not going to know a lot until probably about 4 or 5 weeks from now. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see.
I thought it was really cool. I really like this. I mean, other than the fact that we couldn't hear anything, and it was other than that whole thing. But I'm not talking about Josh. I mean, I watched it after on YouTube, so I'm talking about So like the Josh, it was all cool, and I just really I thought it was like interesting. I don't know, not interesting. Maybe it wasn't. I guess it's kind of a WWE thing. Like the top contenders come out, but I like these guys. I like Josh. I like Shelley. I like Kushida. Kushida and Rush are like fresh to me, so like it's even like better. And then out came Bully and Moose, who I love, so I'm taking Moose out of this. And then Myers, who I don't know, I feel like he doesn't fit. I feel like Myers isn't ready, and I don't want Bully there anymore. Like Moose, totally. I would have had Moose take all of them. How about this? How's my ending? Moose takes everybody the fuck out by himself.
Yeah, I can see that. But I would be a liar if I didn't say when I heard Bully's music, I did get a little bit of goosebumps though, because I was like wondering where it was going to go from here. Like, because Bully kind of has that persona to him. Like, he could be your friend today, and then tomorrow he could
Yeah.
stab you in the back, even if it's a fellow heel. You know what I mean?
I
He
thought,
has a rhyme or reason for what he does.
yeah.
Just has an
Um,
agenda.
yeah, so man, I thought it was cool. Just the ending with the option scene, all that. Again, the one thing I really didn't like was Bully. If they had Moose clear the ring, I mean, that would have been like one of my greatest endings ever. Like Moose is back, like F you all. Like
Yeah,
it's cute you
yeah,
guys have it's cute you guys have all these like ways to get the number one contendership, but look at me. You know what I mean? Like that's how big this dude is.
yeah.
And
Yeah, totally. Because back in the day when I loved his rivalry he had with Eli Drake back in the day. When remember they were doing the
I thought
briefcases.
I thought you were gonna say Josh. Didn't he have a sick rivalry with Josh?
Remember the feast or fired cases they had
Oh
back
yeah.
in the day.
Yeah. Someone just asked about those actually.
Really good exchanges between Bully. I remember, or not Bully, but Moose, and like remember him having the Eli Drake show there,
Oh,
dummy show.
don't remind me. Don't remind me. One of my favorite things ever. Yeah. And gotta give him
Yeah, it was
gotta give props to him, man. That dude is over in WWE. Like I never thought it would happen, and he did it by himself. Like he's not even getting pushed that hard. Like they showed something the other night where like they cut like the television off and they were just
yeah.
chanting
So that
they were just chanting for him. Like they were doing like the yeah. Like he doesn't do dummy yet. Like he hasn't even dropped the dummy yet. Like he's like I feel like he knows
yeah.
exactly what he's doing and he's just dropping everything slowly and he's killing it. And it's
Well,
amazing. I don't know. It's crazy to say like a guy on that level. Like he was a nobody when he showed up on TNA.
well, I
No,
remember
he
back
was a
back
nobody.
in
He was on that. What the hell was it called? He was a nobody with friggin' oh man, the big awesome guy. What the hell's his name? British dude. He's in WWE
oh
now. Stand up for wrestling. We're here to stand up for wrestling.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just crazy,
Yeah,
man. Seeing him.
he definitely made him look like leagues below him, and
Yeah, like Drew McIntyre
like
and two dudes. I'll never
yeah,
forget that.
when we lost it, when we had a chance to re-sign him, everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to be no loss." And I mean, hey, you're proving it. You're proving yourself wrong because I think he's been a
Oh,
huge
totally.
loss to him.
Totally. Also, Drew McIntyre. I mean, the guy's awesome. Somebody mentioned wanting him back, and I don't want to like say that's never happening because he's killing it in WWE. But whatever. Too much WWE talk there. And yeah, well, that's about it for the show. Just want to read the 411. Ready? This show only gave me so much hope for Impact's future, as this didn't feel like the rather good stuff they have been doing in recent months. Blah blah blah. Still a fine enough show. Something was missing. I kind of agree with a lot of that. Some of the stuff was
Yeah,
rather
I got
weak, and it felt like a step in the wrong direction. That's how I felt about the Bravo thing. That's how I felt about maybe the main event. I don't know. Dango. Like I feel like they just like shit on Dango, but I don't know. Maybe Dango will like abuse this idiot and he won't be around him. But also a lot of people like Bravo. You know, that's just my opinion. And Jake something got a nice win here and looks a little big, but like it didn't feel like this was after a big pay-per-view, you know, and it didn't feel like that to me at all.
And then I had a couple like really quick things I wanted to say on behalf of the channel. On behalf of the channel tonight, we're sorry to hear about the passing of Mike Halleck, who was also AKA known as Mantar, who died at the age of 55. He'd been I guess he'd been dealing with type 2 diabetes. Our fans out there tonight probably remember him from the 90s in the WWF. He was in WCW in 97, and I think he had a few appearances in ECW. So
I was actually listening to Jim Cornette talk about his passing because he was, I don't know if he booked Mantar or he was like a manager or something, or maybe he brought him out originally. I forget the actual story, but they were like connected somehow. And he was like, you know, I wish I had a better story, but like I didn't know this guy very well. But he was like, you know, then he would talk about like, you know, all like the nice stories about him and all. So I would check that out if you're interested. Good stuff. Like, you know, even like Cornette can be a dick, but he has a lot of fucking knowledge and respect for old school guys like that.
Yeah, and our condolences go out to the Mantar's family. And finally, we didn't get around to it early enough about the podcast shirt of the week, but that's going to go none other than to Joe Doring. Eric Young currently is auctioning off a number of wrestling gear that he wore at Slammiversary. You can head on over to eBay and check out the Impact Wrestling eBay page, and let's get them bids up there. Let's get Joe some money.
A, that is extremely nice and cool. B, I haven't heard about this similar to that other show. I'm guessing because it was only on Twitter, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Just like their social media top 5 for the whatever consecutive week. I'm probably the only person who pays attention to this thing, but it's always Twitter. And it's the same when it goes to their, like, I don't understand, man. Like, it's, you know, easy it is to press a button. I think there's apps where you can hit, like, send to Twitter and Facebook at the same time. I know there's one with Instagram. Like, I know Instagram can send it to friggin' to Facebook. They don't even do that. It's a button. I literally told a wrestler to do it, and they were like, "Oh shit, didn't know about that. Thanks." I'm not going to name the wrestler, and people will be shocked, but whatever. So,
and if you're looking for the current designs for Big Joe Doring, the current one probably is a little bit more popular. It's the Keep Calm, and Kick Ass. It has Joe's likeness on the front with him wearing, you know, the cowboy hat and whatnot, and the jacket. Very cool. Then the other one is a stand-up gold trimmed, just a kind of like a Dusty Rhodes nod kind of looking shirt, and in gold lettering it says Joe Doring Pro Wrestling, and then it has this like base or cowboy hat on the front. Both are very neat looking shirts. So you know, let's get Joe some money, guys.
Nicely said there, Gary. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else for this week. Just running down my list of check. Let me just check some group messages here. Our boy Robles wants Allie back. I think that'll be cool. I don't know what the hell she's doing in AEW, so yeah, sure. I wanted more Gia, and Larry responded. Well, he made a joke that it was Scott's fault, or, you know, I would blame Scott. And yeah, usually I pretty much blame Scott for everything. Alan, was the end messed up for anyone else? When Josh came out, there was no sound until when Bully came out, and it just kept repeating Bully coming out. And then he wrote just an average show. I pretty much agree with just the average show part. But that's the thing, like, it's after a pay-per-view. Like, don't have an average show with a goddamn pay-per-view. Stack that shit.
Yeah, I think that's my problem with it. It's a fallout show, and like that's been our pattern for like the last 3 or 4 shows, whether it be the big flagship shows that we do, like the 4. But we have problems with the tapings coming off of those. Yeah. But I will say the crowd was beautiful. It looked good on TV.
Oh yeah, looked great. Really. Wait, what was this again?
And I don't. Oh, this was in Windsor, but tell me I wasn't right this week. That red at the top of the ramp looked a lot better than the dark that was at the pay-per-view.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
You know, I mean, it stood out. Everything looked colorful and the taping.
But I mean, even that, but it's like even that, like, were they testing shit like after the fact? Like, I don't know. Like, how was that not already set and whatever for the pay-per-view? Yeah. Did someone forget about it? Like, did someone forget to put the red thing there? I don't know.
And I got one last thing. It's been bothering me. I don't know what is going on with the Hall of Fame this year. I don't know if we're not doing it. I know some people said they normally don't mention it till like September. But I say why not put everybody in your Daphne, your Jerry Jarrett, and
I'm guessing
there's somebody else that just
has it been every year? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's enough people.
There was 1 year they skipped it, I believe, and I think that was kind of like a transitional thing, like where Impact was kind of, I don't know if they were kind of like, I don't know, kind of like having money issues, or they just didn't have the time or the effort to, you know, to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Jimmy Rave. Those are at least 3 people I'd like to see put into the Hall of Fame, just because of their ties to TNA yesteryear. And
you know what? I'm gonna go with a crazy option. Scott D'Amore. Send him off. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Give Delirious, let him be in charge of booking and creative. But whatever. That's just me hating. Also, Chris Bay has a new music video out today on YouTube. Check it out. Chris Bay's official YouTube channel, also in our group. And we will be back next week, hopefully a little bit happier with some better news and ratings and news about Impact going to the UK and maybe all kinds of cool stuff, which I just totally made up. But that would be awesome. And I got to get back to watching Money. I can get back to watching Money Plane and see how this ends. Is Edge going to die? Is he going to steal the money? Are they going to kill Edge?
Yeah, we're still desperately in search of that movie. What is it there, Jay?
Yeah, we'll find it one day.
What is Stout Post?
This was like 10 years ago. Oh man, totally forgot about that. Yeah, we'll get to that one day. All right, we'll catch you next week. Peace.
See you later.